So we're going to start with our digital games and activities. We know this is great for engagement. Again, you'll find this on our financial education resource page, fep.org. We have 2 linked PDFs here. This is a little display of the K-5 list. These are some of the favorites I'm just going to highlight. Up at the top, we have Currency Academy, which is a little online platform put on by the Department of U.S. Currency. They go through the artistic and physical and scientific characteristics of our currency. It's very cute, very user-friendly, and a great way for students to start becoming familiar with American currency if they're not. Bottom right, we have Counting Money, which is a fantastic game because it is so scaffolded, as you can see there. Counting Money, it's very cute. They get a fish every time they drag and drop the correct amount of money. I actually used a game like this, not this particular game, in my adult ESL class. I taught an adult ESL for 3 years down in Arizona, helping my parents of students become more proficient in English. And a lot of them were doing cash jobs, registered jobs. And so we practiced this a lot to just get them more familiar with the types of currency. And then this bottom icon in green is from a game called Escape to Barter Island. Love this game. It is a dual language resource in English and Spanish. Essentially, a boy gets stuck on an island, this little island chain, and has to barter his way off. Spoiler alert, on the third island, everyone trades the same item. And we get to learn about the benefits of a uniform currency, which is kind of cool. So love these games for engaging students. Also great for brain breaks for students. We know that can be a great social emotional tool as well.
Okay, so for older students, we've also identified some great financial themed games, digital games. One of the ones that I'm very excited about is Financial Soccer. It's sponsored by Visa. And the reason why I'm excited about this game is it comes in 12 languages. 12. I was like, wow. I'm a soccer fanatic. It is a very popular sport throughout the world and is gaining popularity here in America. So again, a lot of our newcomers might find that interesting. I also like the fact that you can choose between a men's international team and women's international team. So some of the features, that's just some of the things I like. Some of the interesting features about the game, you can choose to play quick games, 5 minutes to 20 minutes in length. And again, everything is related to personal finance. There's another game also sponsored by Visa, this one with the NFL, and it's called Financial Football. This one is a dual language resource. It's not available in 12 languages, but it is available in English and Spanish. And students are very stimulated during this game. It's like you have only like 20 seconds to answer questions, which focuses them. Our students and our adults are having a hard time kind of staying focused, and we're all distracted all over the place. So that's a neat feature. These are a little longer, so they can, again, from 5, but this time from 5 to 30 minutes. And students can choose from professional NFL teams who you play with and who you play against. I'm not very familiar with football, but you choose like if you're going to be on the defense or offense, and the coin toss and all these things. Clearly, it's evident that I don't know much about football, but it is a quality game. I played it. I liked it. I wasn't so proficient in the odds and ends, but the actual content, I did well.
Yes.
As I am in financial education, after all. Another really engaging resource that we wanted to, that we were bringing to you, it's called It's a Money Thing. And this is a collection of short, easy to digest, but really informative financial education videos that just briefly discuss all the important topics: saving, budgeting, spending, credit, the importance of having these things in your life. And it can be a fun way to introduce a lesson on financial education or supplement what you're already doing in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Okay, so another really engaging resource that we find is financial education comics. One of the ones that I really like and wanted to present to you today is the Black Panther comic. I swear, we don't sponsor anyone. We're not endorsing anyone. It's from Visa, again. Okay, but that's just how it is. So one of the features of this game that I like is that protagonists are culturally diverse. They focus on supporting local economy. And for newcomers, they often kind of band together and form these communities where they're able to access the resources that are familiar with them. So this book is a good way, this comic book is a good way of showing the importance of supporting your local economy and how it enriches everyone, how it benefits everyone in the community. Another important topic that they discuss, financial topic, is budgeting, and the fact that whether you're making a little bit of money or a lot of money, everyone needs to budget. If you're making $1 million and you're spending $1,000,001, you need to learn how to budget, because you're still going to be in financial difficulties if you don't. So it's a really inclusive way of showing the importance of budgeting. The New York Federal Reserve also has some great financial themed comic books. These are available in dual language. They are in English and Spanish. Quality translations, really like those. One of the things that I like about this resource, aside from the fact that it is a dual language resource, is how well they can integrate into other core academic subjects. If you're teaching social studies, if you're teaching economics, if you want your students to learn, like in Barter Island, the importance of the US currency. Why do we use currency? Why are we not bartering for the things we need for goods and services? A lot of our students I have a lot of data because of the work I do. A lot of our students come from financially unstable economies, their countries of origin. In Venezuela, recently, that's a country that is experiencing a lot of political and financial upheaval. People were, the inflation situation got so out of hand, people were actually bartering for goods. That's something that happens still today. So it's important for our students to understand, hey, there's a reason why we use money. It's a set value. This is 5, this is 10, this is 20, and it's not going to depend on what other people assign, a value other people assign to it. So this could be a useful tool to use if you have newcomers in your classroom. Again, if you want to talk about why banks fail, the important role banks play in a healthy economy, this is a great resource for students to use, for educators and students to use. So yeah, some of the cool features of these comics.
And I would say this is more economics based, I would say, than personal finance. We're looking at more of a big picture understanding of the role economics plays in our lives and how we as consumers fit into that.
Yeah, our market economy and how it works.
Okay, and we had a question I just wanted to reference really quickly. I think, Lance might have answered to Rhonda. Hi, no worries. We are going to make sure that you get links. You're going to get the slide deck, and you're also going to get a linked document that has every resource that we've shared here, just direct linked right on that for you guys. We would never show you something and then not give it to you to use. So we will make sure that you have all of these resources, whichever you see fitting into your classroom, we'll make sure you have those. All right. And now we get to talk about the full financial education library. So this is our full FEP library that includes the Spanish bookshelves. What you see here is just the titles in English, but like Milady mentioned, we know we have those titles in English and Spanish. As I mentioned, this is a labor of love. It was developed, this is a collection of a curated collection of books with personal finance and economic themes and topics. Again, lots of diversity in the protagonists, in the authors, in the family models. Tried to really find representation for all of our students could find a book in here they could see themselves in. We cover all sorts of topics. Rock, Brock, and the Savings Shock in the top right is about compound interest. Next to it is Sloth and Squirrel in a Pickle, which is about specialization. And then we have George Washington, The Secret Garden of George Washington Carver. Obviously, we know he's a very famous scientist, his story and how he persevered to become successful. So that's just a sample. We have a wide variety of topics here. What makes it different? First is accessibility and equity. We really wanted to make sure that you did not have to have this book in front of you to teach the lesson. So if you click, this is a digital resource, by the way, so you'll get the link to this digital PDF when at the end of this. And then when you click on one cover, for example, if you clicked on Tia Isa Wants a Car, this would come up. And this is our lesson and resource guide. Every single one of these books has a lesson and resource guide. So again, you're going to see the link to the YouTube Read Aloud and to the Spanish Read Aloud with a heritage speaker, making sure that if we're teaching in that native language, that heritage language, that we're doing it well. You're also going to have connections to our financial education state standards. We did keep that in the K2 and 3-5 bands because we believe obviously that's where it will be used the most. But for SEL, we also identify the self and social standards and benchmarks that are connected to the book and the topic that you can explore just based on the story. After that, you will find links, direct links, because like I said, I was a classroom educator and I recognize the amount of things you have on your plate. And the last thing I want to do is give you a resource that's going to make you have to hunt around to find what you're looking for. So when you click on Thea Isa's incentives to save lesson plan, that direct lesson should pop up, not the Reading Makes Sense program, which is a great program and I recommend you check it out. But we're trying to make this as teacher-friendly, user-friendly, no prep, low prep as possible. When possible, I will even tell you what pages the discussion guide's on. So if you don't want to print the whole thing, you just want to print the discussion guide, you can do that easily. With the bilingual, like Milady mentioned earlier, so with the Spanish bookshelves, at least one of those lessons or resources linked underneath there will be equitably translated in English and Spanish. This just shows one lesson, but there are 2 or 3 pages to most of these lesson and resource guides, so it continues along the back. And so this, I mean, I feel like there's just so many different applications for this tool. You can use it during transitions or after lunch as like a cool down period. You could use it for, you know, Financial Friday. We come up with Money Mondays, something like this. But it's a great conversation starter. It's a great way to make financial literacy accessible and easy to talk about within your classroom and really take that cross-curricular approach to sprinkling everything in. All right. And then that is our webinar for you guys today. We're just about on time.